Hello and welcome back everyone, and I am just so happy that the Challenge All-Stars 4 has finally premiered that I thought it would be really fun to take a whole bunch of comments from my Challenge All-Stars 4 episodes 1 and 2 review and recap and highlight them, shout people out, answer some comments, and get an idea of what you think about this Challenge All-Stars 4 season so far. So, without further ado, let's jump in with a pretty easy comment from Leanne Tompkins, who says the soundtrack is on point and a major throwback. I'll be for real, like after watching the flagship show for like 20 something weeks in a row, I don't really listen to the music or think that it adds much to the show until I watch All Stars, and it's just A+ jam after A+ jam. I love the soundtrack and it just adds to my love for All Stars. And yeah, after a music cue, I'd be like, well, that one's gonna get stuck in my head forever. And then the next music cue will be something that I'll say, well, that's gonna be stuck in my head forever. P. Molly 23 says Flora fan club, which I am a part of. I will say that I didn't know much about Flora. Coming into this, I only really knew Flora from her interview on the Mike Lewis podcast, and I thought, she's great. I love her personality, and Flora has not disappointed at all. I love it, I love her, and I can't wait to see more of her on this All-Stars 4 season. I'm so happy that she wasn't like automatically thrown in the first two eliminations or in one of the first two eliminations. I'm so happy that she is still here and still competing. Chinny Moore says, how did production make All-Stars 4 with Red Skull's alternative, talking about the stars, which fans have been asking for, and then crap the bed following it with season 39. Yeah, it's kind of nuts that in an all-stars cast where there are champions and people that have been to the finals and have proved themselves in either eliminations, daily wins, or being champions, have to earn their right to get to the final, where a season that was filmed after this season, even though this one's premiering after 39 was filmed after this season, and there was no requirements for making the final. If this stars twist or something around it was implemented on 39, I think we would have gotten a way different game and a way more messy game than what we had gotten. I wished there would have been some form of twist or earning your right to the final in season 39. Harpazo season, I definitely didn't say it right, I'm sure of, says, I can't wait to see how this format plays out. I already have reservations with Tina getting a star for nothing. I will say that I don't know how I feel about this format. Now that we know that only 6 people can make the finals, 3 men and 3 women, it's very reminiscent to the Keys on the island, but ultimately in 2 episodes, we can't really see the power that this has or what kind of workarounds the cast will find to somehow get stars away from people and send them somewhere else. I think that this format allows people to be messy with their strategy on how they would like to get stars or how they would like their friends to get stars. But as of right now, I don't know how I feel about this format so far. I think I like it, but there's something inside me that's like a little bit cautious every time I think about this format, in that somebody can just win or not win an elimination and then steal anybody's star up there. And also winning or losing the daily challenge would put you into an opportunity of possibly stealing a star. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the format. If you like this star format and will like it in other seasons, let me know down in the comment section below and why you like it so much. We have Stephen Davis, who has a question about this format, saying, my big wonder has been, how many episodes are we getting if it's alternating guys and girls days? We're getting a total of 12 episodes on this particular season. So 12 episodes. Also, does the voting system even make sense? You really have no power by winning. You do have power in the sense that you have 2 people lined up to go into elimination, and those 2 people are the worst performing players of that daily challenge. So you essentially know who your opponent can be, as well as you get the rundown of the elimination. I think that is new, and I think that is a great thing for the winners. That's a great advantage for the winners to be like, okay, I see the layout, I heard the rules, I know who my opponents are, I kind of size them up and know my own abilities, and now I can throw myself in if I want to. Now, the difference is like in episode 2, where Laurel and Nicole both could have sent themselves down into an elimination. I guess if you're part of the winning group and somebody jumps in and jumps at the opportunity to go into elimination, you're probably not going to jump at the opportunity to go up against them unless you really don't like them / you think that you can beat them. But trust us, you do have power if you win. You either get to keep your star and it's not going to get stolen, or you can send yourself in after knowing who your opponents are as well as knowing what the elimination is. Adam Steed comes in with a comment saying, Tony pulling Veronica's pin was hilarious and it looked like TJ was really irritated. I love that moment. First of all, classic Tony. To me, that was a really funny moment, a real standout moment in episode 1, and I kind of was like, yeah, I'm glad Tony's back, you know? Alex Gee comes in with a comment saying, if I ever was on a challenge and saw Tyree there, I'd be happy knowing at least I'm not going home first. Man, I really felt for Tyree. For real. I mean, he comes into the game, wants redemption. We're getting a lot of his personality. I think he's coming onto the season with a lot more friends than he normally does. And he was crushing it on that elimination against Steve. And I was really hyped up when he got 11 balls to, I think, Steve's 7 at that point. And then it just kind of all fell apart for him, and I really felt for Tyree. Raymond comes in with a comment saying, man, Ayanna just put herself as a main target and a jerk. This is where we're going to get to the Ayanna comments, and trust me, there were a lot of Ayanna comments, which how could there not be? After what happened in episode 2 with Ayanna and Janelle and the gaslighting and pot stirring, and it was just like a lot. It was a lot to take in, and according to like Jasmine on Twitter and some other people on Twitter and social media, and even Janelle replied back to a fan who asked if she could like do an interview and kind of give her side of the story, and to say something like she's limited in what she is allowed to say and talk about. I just want to put this out at the top. Apparently there was a lot more said and done about a lot of things that were beyond game and outside of the house stuff. I don't know details of anything. I really don't. I even listened to the Challenge Official podcast with Tina to see if she would spill some tea, and she was vague as vague can be, and she just basically said that they have a history, and there's not enough time in this podcast to go into all of the history. So she touched on it and then completely didn't even say anything about it. There's a lot of speculation among fans and everything, but when it comes to the actual people involved, there's not a lot to be said, and I wonder if there was like an NDA signed by everybody. Speaking of Ayanna, Henry comes in with a comment saying, Ayanna was really pissing me off. It wasn't even a good move for her. It just makes the target bigger. I don't even think you needed anything to make the target bigger, but this just gives people an excuse to want to say your name if somehow she finds herself in the bottom group, you know? Styles2535 says, I think the show has been severely lacking in the drama aspect as of late. Agreed. At its core, the challenge is a reality TV show. Preach! And thrives off drama and interactions between cast members. However, if your berating of another cast member leads to them break down in tears and quit the game within the first week of filming, that's crossing a line and just becomes bullying. Exactly. Let's throw away this fifth sports stuff. Like, I can't tell you how in the first 5 minutes of that incredible intro, by the way, I love the intro to this season, but TJ kicks off this intro by saying America's fifth sport was born in 1998. And I was like, seriously? We're in All-Stars. It's like, no, throw away that fifth sport crap. This is a reality TV show. And I agree, there needs to be drama. That's the whole point of a reality TV show. That's the whole point of the house aspect of the voting and everything. But I agree that there is a line that can't be crossed, and it goes into the personal aspect and gets into the bullying aspect. And that's what happened here. We didn't get to see any of it. The challenge did not want to show any of it. They wanted to edit it all out. They wanted to make sure nobody is talking in detail about what happened and what was being said about what of another person. But I think it does lead into, or at least I can surmise from various accounts, that it did lead into very personal stuff, which I say lobbies into the bullying aspect. So I agree with you, Styles. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Grimdelin comes in with a comment saying, man, I wish Darrell was on this season. Janelle needed someone in her corner. I think at a certain point, she did have people in her corner. And I want to say shout out to Brad. I really liked his scene in the bar when Jasmine was like, apparently Janelle's saying she wants to go up against me. And Brad was like, I didn't hear her say that. We're cut from the same cloth. And I know Janelle is like super direct. And I feel that way that Brad knows Janelle. And I felt like he was being a real one. It's Amanda Christine. Says, Cara being back just gives me all the challenge feels. Get the second solo win. How incredible was Cara Maria in the first daily challenge? Like having these expectations, like she is going to beast it out. Like there's no doubt in my mind that Cara goes into like every daily challenge or eliminations. I'm like, she's going to win. You know, she's going to beast it out. Yet she does not just win the daily challenge. She comes in first place out of everybody. And this is the first challenge. People are laying down, they're drinking water, they're hurt, they're tired. And Cara's just like, doesn't even look like she's sweating. She's like glistening in the sun as she's pulling that banner and just waiting for somebody else to pull their banner. It was really, really cool seeing her get that win. Also, Leroy during the deliberation, you know it's bad when he gets agitated. I'll be real, I've never seen Leroy like that. Leroy has not been around Ayanna that long, yet for him to be like, I think that was the last thread between logic and patience, and it just snapped in his mind, and he's just like, that's it, I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Alonzo comes in with a comment saying, Leroy had the damn I came out of retirement for this moment. Oh man, A+ comment, gold star comment of the week, because yeah, after listening to the Challenge Official podcast and Leroy's like already was on the fence when they called up and called Cam and wanted both of them to come onto the season. And Leroy was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then for him to finally say, yeah, let's go. And then after traveling and doing all this stuff and then sitting down in that nomination, listening to Ayanna just go on. And then, yeah, just for him to be like, that's it. I'm over this. Like, yeah, I'm sure there was something in his mind going, what am I doing here? Here's a comment from Jody who says, I'm proud of Averey for recognizing that Tina was trying to strong arm her and didn't listen to it. So disappointed in Laurel and even Nicole for basically handing Tina a win. Now, I want to say big props and a big shout out to Averey. I thought she crushed this first daily. I think Averey is even more impressive for finishing second for the women, knowing that Laurel's there, Nicole's there, Rachel's there, and here is Averey getting a win, getting a star, and yeah, also holding her ground against Tina. She is in a room by herself, basically getting the Godfather treatment from Tina. Rachel's around, Veronica's around as well. She could have felt so pressured by them and just crumbled underneath it, but yet she didn't. I loved her standing up for her own morals and standing her ground for that one. Now, I don't agree with being disappointed with Laurel or even Nicole for handing Tina the win. I don't blame them for not wanting to risk their place in this game that could be seen as a luck-based kind of game. I think you should be more disappointed with the rules the challenge has based around the quote-unquote forfeiting, which led to Tina being able to steal a star from anybody despite not winning an elimination. The Genuine Beauty says 100% agree with you. Thank you. We can stop this comment right now. No, I'm just kidding. But 100% agree with you. If you are flying in alternates to another country and you have someone leave the game, which I don't blame Janelle for, I probably would have left too if I was in her situation. I agree. I don't blame Janelle whatsoever. At least have the alternate get a chance to play the game, even if it is in an elimination. That would have been an epic cliffhanger to end episode 2 and leave us wanting more. I'll tell you right now, Genuine Beauty, I didn't even think about it being a cliffhanger, but that would have been awesome. Granted, I would have hated waiting a week to see who was going to get brought in, but I knew Genesis was flown out as an alternate, and yeah, this would have been a perfect time. I think it would have been great to see Genesis, just to see her. Have her do a couple of confessionals, even if she doesn't win against Tina. I think it would have been fantastic for giving Laurel and Nicole the opportunity, bringing out Genesis if they both rejected it, and then if she didn't win, at least we got to see her. But this is where Sugar Ray comes in saying, I felt that Jasmine should have went into elimination, or whoever was coming can compete for the star. But no one goes home, giving Tina a pass because Janelle went home. But that's the thing, I didn't even think about, oh yeah, Jasmine was standing up there. And they even have a confessional after like the third or fourth time watching it. I was like, oh yeah, throw Jasmine in there. But then they have to bring in the alternate because somebody would have went home. But at that point, I don't care. I think it would have been great. I just think that there's no real reason for handing out or giving somebody a star because they were the last person standing or because they were voted in. Like, Jasmine was there. Genesis was flown out. We have Gregory Washington saying, I feel like this cast had more fun in 2 episodes than 39 did all season. That is a no-brainer. I know I did. I know in these 2 episodes of All Stars 4, I had more fun than I did the entire 39 season. Now, granted, some people will say closer to the end of the season, it got really good and really messy. And I agree with you. But we had to wait till episode 15 or 16 until that thing got messy. At least in the first 2 episodes of this season, I'm already jamming out. I'm already invested in storylines. I'm excited to see what's happening next week. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And the final comment comes from AZ Master Baker, who says, it's funny that Rachel believes so much in her Mean Girls alliance that she needs to win stars for them. Kind of hoping it backfires on her. I do like how loyal the Mean Girls alliance is with each other, because there's been times where like people come in and they talk about how they were friends back in the day and then they're no longer friends. Kind of like Katie and Trishelle in All Stars Season 1, but then you have some people that are just like instantly reunited and it's just like they were back in the day, which is like the Mean Girls alliance. And just seeing Rachel being like so like in on this, being like, we just need to get 3 stars. The problem with this whole format is that there's still a lot of season to go. There's still a lot of eliminations to go. And even if all 3 of you get stars by like episode 4, there's still so many more episodes to go that somebody else is bound to go into an elimination and steal one of your 3 stars, where you're gonna have to try to maneuver your way back into elimination to get that star back from somebody else, you know? I think that this season, you don't want to go in too early, but you also don't want to wait too late. It's kind of like Brandon and Avery. You lost a star early. I'm not too worried about it, you know? I want to have the opportunity to send myself into the elimination to maybe win back my star, but I'm not fretting about it this week or even next week. I'm not fretting about it, you know? Because we still have a lot of game to go. And even if you win back your star, who's to say the very next week somebody's looking at you being like, oh, you just won your star back? I'm going to take it. But I guess we're just going to have to wait to see how everything plays out, because things are going to get really messy with these stars. And with there only being 6 of them, yeah, people's feelings are going to get hurt. People are going to get desperate and things are going to get messy. That is a guarantee. I'm excited. I loved reading everybody's comment. Thank you so much for watching my review and recap of the episodes 1 and 2 of All Stars 4. I also want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge All Stars 4 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.